Okay, this is part 2 of weathering, erosion, and deposition. Just to review, weathering is the chemical physical breakdown of rocks into sediment. It's breaking apart of rocks. There's two types, mechanical, which is also called physical, and chemical. Last time we talked about the mechanical weathering. Today we'll talk about chemical weathering. So chemical weathering is the chemical change within the rock's minerals, breaking down the bonds holding the rock together. The rock's minerals are changed into new substances. So here is what causes the rock to break. There's oxidation, hydrolysis, and carbonation. So here's an example of oxidation here in image A. You can see along the outside that it's kind of a reddish color because the iron has combined with oxygen to make rust. This is iron oxide. So that's known as oxidation. Hydrolysis is when water reacts with things and starts to dissolve. So this one you can see has dissolved around the edges and it's made it smooth, this rock here. And here we've got a picture of a cave, which is formed from carbonation. And we know that there's carbon dioxide in the air. As it rains, that carbon dioxide and the water combine to form a slight carbonic acid. It's a very weak carbonic acid, but it does dissolve limestone. And then it makes these great features inside caverns. All right, how can air pollution increase chemical weathering? Well, gases from volcanoes, cars, and power plants can make rainwater even more acidic. So this nitrogen oxide that comes out of the cars or the sulfuric acid out of plants will combine with that water again, forming nitrous acid or sulfuric acid. That comes down and can dissolve minerals in the rocks, causing chemical weathering. Plants and animals also contribute to chemical weathering. The acids formed by decay of dead organisms can incorporate into rainwater, percolate into the ground. So as they start to decay, they create kind of an acid, and that will break down rocks. Lichens, which are a fungus and algae, make acid, which can dissolve the rock very slowly. So erosion is the process that moves bits of rock or soil from one place to another. And it does it by gravity, water, like rivers and waves, and wind, and ice, like glaciers. Okay, so here's a song called Weathering Erosion that you can listen to by yourself. You can come back and take a look at this. In addition, Deposition, as you can look over here, it looks like maybe a green leaf, but we're looking at the Earth from space. And this has all been deposited, which means it's been put down. So the deposition is the process in which sediments, soil, and rock are added to landforms, such as deltas, floodplains, and sandbars. Deposition occurs when forces moving sediment are no longer able to overcome the forces of gravity and friction. So, after watching part 1 and part 2 of weathering, can you define weathering? Can you compare and contrast mechanical and chemical weathering? And can you analyze the effects of weathering, erosion, and deposition on the environment of ecoregions?